Okay. All right. I sound like a pro here with this, and I am not. So for everyone here, first of all, thank you very much for coming in. My name is Brandon Peterson, principal at West Oak Middle School, and my colleague is.
Hi, I'm Matt Freiberger. I'm the assistant principal.
So, thank you for joining us. I think if you guys have heard us talking a little bit beforehand here, I know you are giving up a beautiful night. We're not going to take up a whole lot of your time here. Just want to kind of introduce ourselves to you. And then also, if your child is with you today, I mean, we couldn't be more excited than to have them come and join us here this fall. And, along with that excitement, like with all things, especially if this is your oldest son or daughter, is that there's always that level of anxiety and nervousness and what to expect from sixth grade. So we are, we're starting off with this just to kind of a get to know us, get to know our school, get to know kind of the logistics of middle school compared to the intermediate school. But we are also going to have we're going to have a meet and greet I think it's about 2 or 3 days before the first day of school. And then we're also going to have sixth grade orientation where we're going to invite in all the kids. And we just want to kind of just walk them through the building, play some games with them. It'll be August 11th from 9 to 11. So just a chance to kind of get in and kind of get to meet the sixth grade teachers and just kind of get a feel for it. The more you're around us, the more you're around our building and the way of life in middle school, the less that anxiety level is, the less that nervousness is as well. But I can't say enough here about how excited I am to invite our incoming sixth graders to join us. For me here, this is my third year in the district, and I couldn't be more proud to be the principal this year. This is my first year being the principal. The last 2 years, I was the assistant principal, and then Matt, you joined us this year and has done a phenomenal job as well. So you'll be seeing us quite a bit, even before the first day of school. But just wanted to kind of have kind of an introductory virtual meeting, and just kind of give you a little bit of information here to kind of think about it as we roll off into the summer. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of jump into it here. I hope. So as we said before, this is my my title here. Like I said, I'm Brandon Peterson. That's my Twitter handle. We have Mr. Freiberger, who's already introduced us. We just have two fabulous ladies at the front office there. If you're coming from the intermediate school, you had Elizabeth Melgosa and Dora Barron. These two ladies are phenomenal just as well. Very friendly, very polite, very knowledgeable. So if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to kind of help you with that. So with Missy Monroy and then also Angie Zamora. Our school nurse is going to stay the same as the intermediate. So if you knew Julie Marquez as the school nurse at the West Oak campus, that will stay the same. She attends to all of our kids, grades 3 through 8th. And then finally, if your child is in choir or band, you will have Miss Borkowski and Miss Rosales. So that hasn't changed. And there is still time if your child is not in choir and band and just would like to explore that. They're excellent teachers, and they would love to kind of help out your child to grow in their love for music and playing an instrument. All right, so a couple things just to kind of have you get to know us and kind of what to expect with our school here. We just had a lot of celebrations. This is only kind of the tip of the iceberg. When you come into our building, our sixth grade team of teachers are just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm sure very similar to the intermediate school. You have teachers that will just love your kids and take care of them and just bend over backwards for them. So like with any father, I'm a father. Me and Mr. Freiberger are both fathers. Our concern is our child going to be okay? Are they going to be taken care of? And I would have no problems whatsoever sending my 3 young kids to West Oak and intermediate school, West Oak Middle School. So to kind of give you an idea of what we've gotten ourselves into here the last couple of years. Last year we were designated. I'm very excited here. First time ever we were designated as the 2022 the Illinois Horizon and National Forum Schools to Watch. This is quite the application process and kind of a rigorous assessment of our school, our processes, our climate and culture. And, they were just kind of blown away, mostly from just, from all those facets, but especially just the level of caring that our teachers have for our kids. So I can't say enough about them. They are the engine that drives our school. And, we just have phenomenal teachers and we're very proud of that. Other things that we are proud of is our 5 essentials. 5 essentials is something that it's just a part of our overall school report card. We report that off to the state here every year, and it's part of the equation in regards to how we are ranked. But in regards to that, though, our survey was taken by students, teachers, and parents, and each year it compares us against other middle schools. And we were, last year, and then also we expect this year, we expect here to be designated as well organized. And really well organized is the highest rating that you can have for a school in regards to a number of facets here, and that's going to be listed below. And then we scored very strong in categories in English instruction, math instruction, parent-school relationships. You will be hearing a lot from me throughout the year next year. I'd rather over-communicate. So you'll be getting messages from me here. You will be getting newsletters on a weekly basis. Any kind of news that needs to be sent out here, we do that, promptly and in advance. So it kind of helps you guys plan as well. So got a lot of activities, a lot of things scheduled throughout the year where we love to get our kids involved. But we also love to have our parents come in as well. So we just absolutely invite you to come in and just experience what life is like at middle school. We want you guys to be part of this because you are so important to what we're trying to do, and that's to educate your child and help them grow towards adulthood. But almost all these within our 5 essentials top ratings were perfect scores. So we're very, very proud of that as well. Other items here. So, just to kind of give you an idea of middle school. Middle school is different. And that's the kind of thing here. I know, and we're always a little anxious of, what we don't know about. And what I mean by different is that there's just a lot more independence with what our kids do throughout the day. Typically at the intermediate school level, we see them on our side, walking to the Innovation Center and back, and then also to their STEAM class. They're walking in a straight line. They have that homeroom teacher, and it's silent. And they are, it is very, very, very structured, and they need that structure. At the middle school level, they don't have a homeroom teacher. In fact, here they don't have, really, they don't have a homeroom time either. Really, our first period class is 5 minutes additional or 5 minutes extra, and we like to incorporate what we call some social emotional learning during that time. We'll call it SEL Mondays. And then among other, we try to squeeze in the announcements, our Pledge of Allegiance as well. But really, that's our homeroom, is that extra 5 minutes first period. And then from there, I'll kind of walk you through in a little bit what your schedule would be expecting to look like. But anyways, with that, we have 9 periods throughout the day. And you don't have that homeroom teacher. You have multiple teachers. You have multiple classes. And really, there's just more of that added responsibility too. And we don't want to hinder our kids from having responsibility. We want to give them opportunities to take responsibility and kind of work on those skills, because it's just so much more necessary as you move off into high school. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to help get them ready for high school. Other things that kids work on this year, and that's going to be very different, are their lockers. There are locker combinations on our side here, where we just want to make sure whatever they bring into school, it's protected. That is probably single-handedly the most difficult thing about middle school for 6th graders are the locks. And as I said before, we'll be meeting with them during 6th grade orientation. There's that meet and greet where we'll be out, and part of it is training on how to lock their locks. But really, and if they haven't figured it out by the first day of school, me and Mr. Freiberger are out, and then our teachers are too, and they're so helpful. And and it's just a process, and it's a learning process, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time. So that's our lockers. And then with our lockers here, we put away our bags, our coats, our phones. Kids are not allowed to have phones on their person. So they just need to have that. We call it off and away till the end of the day. Yes, it's catchy and it rhymes. But then also here we have a bunch of different sports and clubs. I know Mr. Freiberger was going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But I would say the biggest change for kids moving from 5th grade to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is that along with the added independence, they're changing. and they're changing a lot. And that is physically, we see kids, our sixth graders are this tall, our seventh graders are this tall, and our eighth graders are that tall. So they're growing and they're developing fast. And there are some emotions with that, and there are definitely a lot of chemical changes as well. So, it's along with teaching them academics, there's a social and emotional piece, but just a developmental piece where kids are just going to be learning like crazy here during these next 3 years. And that's what we love about it. So, as I said here down below, we love working with middle school students and helping them on the next step of their educational journey. And really the overall goal is to help prepare them as much as possible for when they go off to, Mundelein High School, Stevenson High School, Carmel, for some of them go to Vernon Hills. So just we want to make sure that they are primed and they're ready to go, and they're just as prepared as possible, in all those different facets of school and just development. Okay, so some of the things here I know a lot of people have questions about is our schedule. So we do not, as I said before, we do not have a homeroom. We have nine periods throughout our day, one of them being lunch. So really 8 classroom periods throughout the day. They're approximately 45 minutes each, with a 30-minute lunch. Typically with that lunch, what we do is we have them eat, and most of our kids, they can take out an entire lunch within the first 5 minutes. So they're usually hanging out anyways. So we want them to kind of get up and burn off some energy. So really the first 15 minutes is getting your food and eating. And then the last 15 minutes is we'd like to go out to recess. So that could be at the soccer field. Sometimes if it works out in our schedule, go to the gym if the weather's not as well. But we want them to get up and move around a little bit and burn off some of that energy, because as a kid or even an adult like myself, I have some energy too that I just have to get up and move around. So yeah, 8 classes in a day, 45 minutes each with that 30-minute lunch period. Other items here that I know that a lot of parents would like to know more about is that our math and our English classes, we call them ELA for English Language Arts, they're what we call leveled. With math, we have 3 levels. So we have regular math, we have accelerated math, and then we have honors math. And really to kind of describe where that is, if your child tests into just regular 6th grade math, that is aligned with the 6th grade Common Core. If they are in 6th grade accelerated math, that is 1 level up. So that means that they have passed the 6th grade Common Core standards, and they are now working at the 7th grade level. So 6th grade accelerated, the 6th grade accelerated math class is basically the 7th grade regular math class, which is aligned with the 7th grade Common Core. And finally, the 3rd level, the highest level, is our honors track, which is if our 6th graders in 6th grade honors, they are being taught pre-algebra. So that is really what our 8th graders, our 8th grade regular students are learning during that time, is that pre-algebra level. And then from there, as a 7th grader, they move up to algebra. And then that last one would be geometry. So we have 3 math levels altogether. And also with that here, it needs to be said that really we look at our data with that. We obviously value data, we use that, and it drives our instruction, and it helps us make appropriate placements into classes. As with anything, that doesn't tell us the entire story. So we obviously are going to be working with our 5th grade teachers to kind of get a good idea of where kids are at skill wise, and where are their deficits, and what kind of things can we do to work on those deficits. So we work with them typically with our math. Our students that are testing, 75% or below on their STAR exam, which 75% means that they've scored more than, they scored higher than 75% of everybody around the country that has taken it. So anybody between 1 and 75, that is going to be in regular 6th grade math. And then from 75 to 89, that would be that level for accelerated. And then anything over 90%, 90 to 99 would be that on that honors track, which means that, if you were scored in the 99th percentile, you scored higher than 99% of all kids that have taken it throughout the country. Similar to that is we have a level ELA class as well. So we have what we call regular ELA, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then we have our accelerated ELA. There is no honors ELA. But accelerated ELA, they would test into that as well, and that is going to be at 75% and above. So any student that scores more than 75 or higher on their STAR reading test, two out of three times during fifth grade, they would be eligible to take accelerated ELA. Now there is some wiggle room if your child was right at 74 or 73 and they work very hard. Those are the conversations that we have to kind of work with parents and teachers to make sure that they're properly placed. Other items that we have with our schedule is we have social studies. This is where we have our dual track. Where we offer, offer these subjects in in a Spanish language. So kids can either take the dual social studies, which is taught completely in Spanish, or our general social studies, which is taught in English. Similar to that here is that communications art, which is the fourth bullet down. We also have Spanish language arts as well as a way, and that is language arts, ELA, that is taught at that Spanish level or with the Spanish language. They're going to be taking science. We have we have advisory or band or choir. Your fifth graders that are coming in, they are all about band or choir. I think we're at about over 60 kids that are in band or choir coming in next year, out of about 84 kids, which is absolutely phenomenal. We love the fact that kids are engaged in positive things in our building. For kids that are not in band or choir, they're offered the ability to, if they need an additional support with reading or math, we can get them into intervention during that time. If they don't require that and they're not in band or choir, what they do is they go into an advisory, which is a structured study hall, but we have some other things built in with executive functioning and some SEL components as well. Other items, we have PE. Your child is going to take PE every day, 45 minutes, and it's Monday through Friday. The next thing I would like to talk about, and this is probably one of the more difficult aspects, is what we call the encore classes. Encore, and we usually refer to that as the encore wheel. So we have 3 trimesters. We have trimester schedule where we have 3 trimesters. And what your child would do is they're going to select 3 classes that they would like to take out of 4. So we have digital media arts, which is more video production, graphic design. We have art. We have music, where kids learn to read music, play music on the piano, and then also play the guitar. And the last one is new to this year, and it's just really taken off with the amount of enthusiasm with it. It's Project Lead the Way, which is kind of our STEM component: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So we have those 4. Mr. Freiberger is scheduling times to work with each of the 5th grade classes to talk with them about what each one of those are. And then what we're big into student choice here in our school, and we want to offer some choice throughout their time with us and also throughout their schedule. So they would be picking out 3 of those 4 classes that they would prefer to take during those three trimesters. So they would get 1 class of those per trimester. So that's why they have 3 there in that encore wheel. And as I said before, some students, they will be testing in, and just kids that just need additional support, maybe having an IEP and receive special ed services, English language learners as well, and then also any kid that needs extra support with math or reading here, we do build in those intervention times as well. So really just comprehensive. We want to challenge your kids, whether it's the top end or kids that just need extra assistance, but really and then also we want to build in some choice as well. All right, so just to kind of give you an idea on what that will look like for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. As you can see, very similar as you go across, as I mentioned here, with math, accelerated math, and honors math. Same thing at this level, but that 7th grade math is 7th grade Common Core. The accelerated math, that would be pre-algebra, and then that honors math would be algebra. And then at this level, we start, 8th grade math is pre-algebra, accelerated math would be algebra, and then honors math would be geometry. But you see here, we have accelerated ELA and ELA on both sides, dual social studies and regular social studies all the way through, science all the way through. Really, the only big difference is with your child, when they get to 6th grade, around this time next year, is we're going to ask them for what classes are they interested in taking in their encore wheel again. And they're going to have one additional choice to make that's a big one. So they'll have art, music, DMA, Project Lead the Way, or Spanish 1. Spanish 1 is just, it's very similar to Spanish language arts. It just kind of gives kids, typically our non-native speakers a chance to learn Spanish. And if they choose to take Spanish, they're going to be locked in for 7th grade and 8th grade, where they wouldn't take any other encore classes. They would be taking that Spanish class for each of the 3 trimesters throughout that year. And then from 8th grade, they go into Spanish 2 then. And then by doing that, they may be able to skip their first year of high school, that freshman level of Spanish when they move off from that. I'm sure there's going to be some questions on this. I'm going to have Mr. Freiberger kind of finish up with kind of more building logistics, and then I'd be happy to kind of explain this a little bit more here in just a little bit. So Mr. Freiberger, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hey, everybody. So good to see you and talk with you here. I'm really excited that this is my job. I love being here at District 76. I love being the assistant principal. It has been a pure joy, and I'm excited to get into the next year where I know even more and can help answer any questions you might have and see you guys around. We like to make ourselves visible, so you'll see a lot of me over the summer and into the fall and all year long. So here are some of the building procedures that we have. Morning entry. No earlier than 8:05. So a lot of our students live right around the neighborhood, and they'll come and hang out because they love being at West Oak. We love having them, but we have to have our supervision, so we don't have anybody in the school building before 8:05. Students can eat breakfast as soon as they get in, so there's breakfast available to them. There's some pretty good options. One of which I saw last week was a chocolate filled bagel, pretty awesome. But there's breakfast so that students can be filled up and ready for their day. So we always encourage students right upon arrival to get that breakfast and eat breakfast with their friends when they get to school. At lunch, cafeteria tables from usually about 6 to 8 kids. Students, they walk about freely as they want. There is no assigned seats. We encourage them to keep it clean. We have a beautiful space. We want to keep it that way. And our lunch crew does a great job of keeping it clean as well. But we ask that students do their part too. So students will sit together with whoever they want. 6th grade lunch is the earliest one. It's right around 10:40, that 10:40 range, that 10:45 range. So it is an early lunch. But it's also good for them to, it's a good split of the day. It's almost right down the middle for 6th graders. So they get that experience too. So we have microwaves. So if your students want to bring their own hot lunch and heat it, if you have some leftovers that they really enjoyed the night before, feel free to send them with that, and then they can heat their lunch in the microwave at school. So if weather permits, we have 40-minute lunch, or 40-minute periods, 45-minute periods for lunch and recess. So if 30 minutes. That's what I thought. Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we have 30-minute periods for lunch and recess. So take about 15 minutes to eat. Most of them eat quicker than that. And then we go outside for at least 15 minutes as well, if the weather permits. We do a lot of games out there. We have supervisory staff who supervise recess, and if the weather doesn't permit, there's still fun things to do inside. I've seen everything from students playing games at the lunch tables to going to the cafeteria, or going to the gym and having a blast in there. As you know, you've probably all seen it. We have beautiful facilities in the gym as well, and so we can accommodate some fun recess times if the need arises because of the weather. Students are dismissed at 3:25. We do keep walkers in the building until the buses leave, and then we send them on their way for their safety. We make sure students get on the right buses. We ask that if there's been I only say this because it's front of mind, as the weather gets nicer and as students are making and continuing their friendships, they might want to go home on different buses with each other, which is great as long as the parents approve of it. So if you're okay with that, if you could communicate with the front office and they'll communicate with the bus company, that way we know that that they're going home on a specific bus with a specific student, so that we can keep everybody where they are expected to be and still allow them to have some fun. Late buses. So this is particularly important for after school activities. We have a lot of clubs, and I think we're over 80% participation in after school activities with our students, which is just It's amazing. It's unheard of. Students are having fun after school and they're doing things that they want to do. So because of that, we have late buses, 4:30 and 5 o'clock. So even if your students are not in sports or in clubs, they can come and support their friends in their sports and in their clubs, and they can take those 4:30 or 5 o'clock buses.
Yep, absolutely. Most of our clubs here finish up by 4:30. And most of in all of our practices for sports, they finish up by 5. So if your child lives on the other side of that busy road here, 83, we require them to jump on the bus. We don't want any kids running across that busy highway.
Yeah. So this is a nice map for you to see how arrival works. Many of you, if you've driven to the school and dropped off, or if you've seen your student get dropped off at the intermediate school rather, they will go all the way around. So you can see where that blue line is taking a left and going back towards the school. You might have continue to go straight across that crosswalk and all the way around. When you drop your students off, you'll just take that first left and go and drop them off right at door 1, right at that front door where it says West Oak Middle School. The buses will go all the way around and they'll stop at door 9, where you see that first car turning. And you'll see thanks, Mr. Peterson. So you'll see the buses stop right there. So if you pull all the way up as far as possible, that's the most convenient. It really does go smoothly. We have quite a few staff out front directing the kids and greeting everybody. I try to make it a point, and I know Mr. Peterson does as well, to greet every student as they walk in the door and let them know that they're welcome there and welcome at our school, and that we're excited that they're there. So it's a really smooth process. As I mentioned before, here's the extracurriculars. So these are the things that the late bus is coming for. We encourage you to come and watch all your students play in these sports, or if you have family, nephews, nieces, etc., on any of these sports teams, to come and watch. So we do have fall. We have winter. We have winter 1 and winter 2, from what I understand, and then spring, the spring sports. So right now, currently, there's cross country going on, and there's boys and girls volleyball. So those are those spring sports. Mr. Peterson, am I missing any of them for spring?
Well, track and field are going right now, along with boys volleyball.
I said cross country, didn't I? Yeah, we got
in the fall.
Yeah, that's a fall one. So we do have we have track and field. We have boys and girls volleyball that's going on right now. Before that, it was wrestling, and then boys basketball, and then in the fall it was girls basketball, and the cross country as well, and boys soccer. Boys soccer and boys basketball this year brought home championships, so we're excited to keep that going this upcoming year. But we have a lot of participation. We have really awesome uniforms, courtesy of Mr. Peterson's efforts. They're really nice, and they're brand new. That being said, make sure if you do come out for those sports, encourage your student to turn them in when they're done, so that other students can enjoy them too. Just really excited about our sporting events. We do these walkthrough or these run throughs. They end up being at the school for if our students are going to the championship round and things like that. And the whole school, the whole West Oak campus gets out in the hallway and cheers them on, almost like a pep rally of sorts. And we recognize them at our assemblies monthly, and it's just a great time. And it's really great to get students acclimated to feeling that, that success from within, and excitement as well. We have all of these clubs that you'll see here: board game club, broadcast club, yearbook club, art club, sewing, scholastic bowl, which is a big deal, coexist, we group, tutorial, National Junior Honor Society, which is a very prestigious club. We just invited the next round of inductees. This was that Wednesday, I believe.
It was Tuesday.
This week is, yeah. So, and then sign language club and our Black Student Union. We also have, some students will suggest if they have an interest in a club, and they'll suggest that we form one. For example, cosmetology got brought up this year, and there's quite a bit of interest. And so, if a club has a sponsor and students that are interested, we will we will advocate that the club gets started. Yeah, so Broadcast Club is doing some big things too. They actually help us with our SEL Mondays. They're learning how to make movies, and it's really cool. And if there are any questions about any of those, please, as always, reach out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Band. So the band program is massive at our school. As Mr. Peterson mentioned, there is, it sounds like out of 83 incoming, 60 are already in band. Is that?
Band and choir. Yep.
Band and choir. So there's a big turnout for these events, and for good reason, or for these programs, and for good reason. Our band director, Jessica Rosales, is amazing at what she does. And so is our choir director, Susan Borkowski. They get kids into competitions, they take field trips with them, they get them acclimated to what life is like, what a good practice habits look like, and how to perform and how to succeed. So they've been competing in contests as well. And I am pretty new to the process of band and how it works and signing up and things like that. But Jessica Rosales and Susan Borkowski are great people and great resources that you can always reach out to as well. All right.
All right. And just a little bit on choir then.
And that, yes. So choir, another great program. We have concerts twice a year too, as well for us. There's that you can come to as families. You're all encouraged. All of our students are encouraged to join. There's no experience necessary. Ms. Borkowski is great at getting them to sing along in unison and sing along in tone. She actually teaches them this really cool thing, like vowel shapes with their mouth. It's something I never learned, obviously, but it's just cool that she takes brand new singers who just had the confidence and to join and want to be with their friends, or just want to learn what it's like to be in choir. And she helps them grow and turns them into a chorus where they can compete at these programs as well. They do a lot of cross-curricular work, both in band and choir as well. So they're not just, they're not going to these outside of core curriculum classes and missing out on anything quote unquote academic. They're learning across the curriculum and across the school, and they're participating with teachers in those core subjects as well. If you would like more information about the recruitment video, there is a link to that recruitment video right there, as you can see. And then if you have any more questions, Ms. Borkowski's email is there as well.
All right. So I think I'm jumping in here, Mr. Freiberger.
Yes.
So just so everyone is aware, all incoming sixth graders need to have an updated school physical on file. And obviously when they start to go out for sports, other activities, we do require a sports activity or sports physical to be part of that as well. Immunizations, there's always a new round of immunizations after each school year. This is kind of one of those years that we really kind of check in on a lot of those areas. Dental exam is required. Miss Marquez, who has really just kind of done a phenomenal job throughout our district, is really kind of a hawk when it comes to this. She will be reaching out to you if you need anything, and she's great for questions. She has a ton of resources for kids to get them their vaccinations, get them their sports physicals, or just or getting into dentists. We have our Smile dentists come and clean teeth and check teeth here twice per year. And then there's also a vaccination truck as well that will come and kind of help with that. So she knows she has the resources, she knows of the resources, and she also brings the resources in here as well, which is amazing. So most of my communication that goes home is going to be electronic. That might be a little bit different than the intermediate school. So instead of getting a physical paper copy of your child's report cards or their progress reports, you'll be getting an email of those instead. It just makes it quicker, more convenient for you all, and things don't get lost in the mail either, which is always good. So after each trimester, about a week afterwards, you'll be getting those report cards sent to your emails. So it's obviously very important to have your updated emails current in our PowerSchool account, but also right in the midterm of our report cards, we send out the progress reports. We want to communicate as much as possible. We want to be on the same page with all of our families in that, how are your kids progressing and how are they doing in school and in their classes? So we try to keep that line of communication open at all times. And we're always available to speak about that, regardless of the midterm piece or the trimester piece. Anywhere in between, you can always give us a call. Families need to create and update their own PowerSchool accounts. I know this probably wasn't as stressed as much at Diamond Lake School or the West Oak Intermediate School. PowerSchool is just our information hub. If you want to know, every class that your child is in, what grades that they have, what assignments they've completed, and what grades they got on each individual assignment, their attendance, their behavior, everything is on PowerSchool. So, we encourage families to make their own PowerSchool account. You can get that on your phone and you can check their grades real time, current, up to the date, up to the minute, at any time here throughout the year. So it's just a great resource, and we can walk you through on how to get that up and running. Bus routes will be sent out probably about 2 to 3 days before the school year begins. I wish I could send it out a little earlier, but really, the bus company takes in all of our addresses from all 300 of our kids, and they route them, and that just takes time. And so we have 8 buses. And it's very coordinated, as you guys may have seen here with your experiences at the younger levels on the pickup times, the drop off times. So we'll get those out to you about 2 to 3 days before school begins. During 6th grade orientation and the meet and greet, you guys will have access to their locker numbers, to their lockers and their locker combinations that's going to be sent out. And then, like I said before, we want to have the kids come in. We want to have them, meet our 6th grade teachers, give them a name with a face with a name, and then just kind of give them their own time together. So we call it 6th grade orientation, where it's just the kids, myself, Mr. Freiberger, and our 6th grade teachers, and we just kind of teach them about middle school life, and that'll be on that Friday of August 11th. So more information on that'll be coming, but that's a 2-hour event, 9 to 11 on that date. So as I said before, you can contact us at any time. Those are our direct lines. Those are our emails. We'd be happy to help you in any way that we can. The main office, as I said, with Mitzi Monroy and Angie Zamora, are just phenomenal human beings as well. So, we want you guys to feel comfortable with the transition from 5th to 6th grade, and we want your child to feel that as well. And hopefully they feel loved and accepted and respected, and they enjoy their middle school experience, and they're prepared for high school afterwards. That is our overall goal. Besides that, I believe that is it. So I would like to open up the floor here. I know I see there's a few of us in here, and I appreciate you staying for as long as you have. I feel like I've talked a long time. But if you have any questions, please put that in the Q&A section here, and we'll try to answer those as best that we can. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time. I see that there's one already in there. And yes, and Adam, you mentioned here, are there dates for the meet and greet? When will these be sent out of town at the time? But we will be out of town at the time, and that's okay. And what we've done is we've also just given personal tours as well. I kind of like that when parents will bring in their child, and we just kind of talk about life, and we kind of show them their locker, show them their classes, and we do that. I know I've done a number of those throughout the summer as well. Our last day in our building for this school year is going to be June 15th. We'll be coming back July 15th, and then school is going to be later on in August, about 4 weeks after, 4 weeks from that point. So there's going to be some time where we're going to be there anyways. So we just feel like, so we just want you guys to come in and just kind of, feel free to reach out to us to come in order to take care of that, and just kind of get to better know our building. So thank you, Adam. So feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we could schedule time to meet you and your child, and kind of help them acclimate to our building. Another question is, hello, for soccer, you have to be 7th grade. And the answer is that we have 7th and 8th grades boys soccer is together, 7th and 8th grade girls soccer is together. But however, though, the thing is, if there is room within the roster, and that happens where we'll have like, 2 or 3 spots open, to fill out that roster, we'll pull up 6th graders. Same thing with basketball. We had a number of 6th graders join because we just needed a little bit more room. We needed a few more kids, and we were able to run A teams and B teams this year. And then same thing with volleyball and other sports as well, as where, if there is room, we'll pull them up. Now, what is available for 6th grade, no matter what, would be that cross country, that wrestling, there's cheerleading, and then there's track at the end of the year as well. Unfortunately, though, our conference doesn't have 6th grade teams in a 6th grade league. But just so you know, though, that is where, we can pull up 6th graders to the 7th and 8th grade levels as well. So Megan, you said, when is the first day of school? I don't have my calendar in front of me. I don't want to be wrong when I say it. Do you know it, Matt, offhand?
I think it's August 18th. I'm almost positive.
I believe it's that Friday. So yes, I don't want to tell you wrong here, Megan, but we will send you out plenty of communication on that. As long as we have your current email, you will be getting notifications of that. Our district calendar is being finalized, and it's going to be shared out with you guys very shortly on that too. So we just want you guys to make sure that, I know there's the dates and the times are a little stressful, but we will be with you throughout, and we'll be communicating very thoroughly, the entire time. Link or copy of this PowerPoint. What we are going to do is, this is recorded. If you were here at the beginning, it said that this is being recorded. We're going to save this as a YouTube document, and I'm going to put this presentation out on Mr. Preble's parent newsletter. I'm hoping for tomorrow, but if not, it'll be on his parent newsletter for next week, and he'll keep it there for a couple weeks. So you can definitely watch this again if you would like. A few more questions. I love these questions, by the way. You guys are doing great. Can students do choir and band, or do they have to pick one? Ms. Sanchez, that is a great question. And I'll kind of keep going with this. But yes, kids can take choir and band. What we do is that they would take, it's just, if they have, if they do take both, on Monday they would be in band, Tuesday they're in choir, Wednesday they're in band. So it's just staggered. It goes every other day. And I think they flip flop on Fridays. So yes, they could take both, and they can get grades for both as well. And we have a ton of kids that are in band and choir just because they love the arts, and they, we just have those phenomenal programs. And and that cohort of kids that just loves music and loves what they do is just so strong in our program, in our school. So they can do both is my long answer. That's my short answer to my long explanation. Miss Werning, how does a child qualify for National Junior Honor Society? For that, thank you for that question. Here is for 7th and 8th graders. So National Junior Honor Society, for people that don't know, is probably the most prestigious club that middle schools around the country have to offer. Really, it requires a number of service hours, kids to be of the utmost character, but also taking care of their business in the classroom as well. And we would always send you, towards the end of 6th grade, we would be sending you guys out information on that. Really, it's available for 7th graders and 8th graders. But however, though, they would require that they make the honor roll, either during that 7th grade year, or possibly the spring trimester of 6th grade. So it's important to make sure grades are good. For that, it requires 20 service hours in a variety of areas. Our kids helped with different events around the community. I know there was a turkey drive. Mr. Freiberger is part of the Mundelein After School Coalition, where we bring kids in, and they've wrapped presents for kids during with the winter holidays. They've given out turkeys during Thanksgiving. They've served the dinner for the Veterans Day dinner here. I think that was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
so they find a number of ways to get those hours in. Some of our NJHSs were picking up trash along the side of the road. Obviously, there's some safety things with that. So we make sure that kids are safe when they do that stuff. But, just beautifying the area, beautifying, the community. We talked about possibly raking leaves for our elderly people in the fall around our school. So a lot of great things. And, we just want to make sure that, not only our school is doing well, but our community is thriving, and we're reaching out and being part of that community as well. So that's how your child would qualify, as grades, character, and then also the 20 service hours as well. Other questions here from Stella. Encore, can students take a class for the whole 3 years, middle school, or change to another class each year? Yeah, absolutely. So if your child is very big into, let's say, music, art, and digital media arts, they can choose that every year. So if they don't like Project Lead the Way, our STEM class, and they would, but if their heart and their curiosity is in 3 specific classes out of those 4, they can elect to take that, and we'll be giving them a form and you a form every year on what 3 Encore classes do you want your child to take. So that can be taken every year. The only thing that you would be kind of locked in on is when kids as they enter their 7th grade year. So our current 6th graders, they have the option of taking the 4 Encore classes or Spanish 1. If they take Spanish 1 in 7th grade, they have to take Spanish 2 in 8th grade. So that's the only time that you would get locked in with that. And that Spanish class would take the place of any of the other Encores. So they would have that Spanish 1 every trimester in 7th grade, and then every trimester in 8th grade. I hope that makes sense. If I'm not, please let me know and reach out to me. So Megan, you say that, if Levi took Spanish 7th and 8th grade, can he still be in the arts program for band? Yes, he can. So the Encore Wheel and band are separate. So band and choir are separate from the Encore Wheel. So, if he takes, if Levi takes Spanish 7th and 8th grade, he can still be in band or choir, or he can get it, if he needs intervention, if he needs special services, he can still get that as well. So, yep, we do have a lot of flexibility with our scheduling, a lot of different pathways. It gets a little complex, and I know Mr. Freiberger is learning that right now. But yes, you would be able to. Any other questions for me? Oh, I have. All right, so another one says, sorry, my oldest child here went to a private school with a classroom teacher. My last child is at West Oak. All right, thank you. We're glad they are here. How do you manage students without a classroom teacher? I don't really know what every student has a classroom teacher. I don't know what, maybe you need to kind of help me a little bit with your question so I better understand it. But with every class that they have, there's somebody directly supervising them.
Yeah. They're self-contained, but they rotate. So the students will go to they'll go to a comm arts teacher. I think maybe is the confusion that they don't have a homeroom teacher.
Maybe that's the case here, but yeah, so they have 9 periods throughout the day. During lunch that we do have 2 supervisors, and they're directly supervised throughout the day and all of their 9 periods. Yep. All right. Any other questions here? When do they make the class selections for their schedule, and when do they find out their schedule? So right now, I know Mr. Freiberg, you are working with our 5th grade teachers.
Yeah, but we're working to schedule times to do like a meet and greet and explain what it looks like, what each of those Encore Wheel classes look like, and have them pick their priority option. So they'll be able to pick what they'd like most, second most, and what their third choice would be. So we try to give them their first choice, and it's also going to be a great opportunity for me to meet your students as well.
Yeah,
and just get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll and we are currently working on kind of the rough draft of the schedule. From start to finish, it's probably, it might seem simple, but it's probably about accumulation of about 100 hours worth of direct work. And I know Mr. Freiberg is getting into that right now. But we typically, by the time we leave June 15th, we have a pretty good idea of what, where our sections are with throughout the day of different classes, where when our teachers are going to be teaching, and then what students are going to be within each class throughout those 9 periods throughout the day. So really by June 15th, we have a very strong idea of what schedules are, but they don't get released. Certain things happen throughout the year. Last year, we had about 25 kids enroll in our building, which really threw off our 6th grade numbers. So we had to kind of change our sectionings around just so that we didn't have too many kids in a class. So it just depends. We'll release that as soon as we're able when we come back in June, and then also early August. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, you guys have all been an amazing audience. Like I said before, I'm more than excited to. I'm just ecstatic to be able to work with you. If I've already worked with you in the past, so I'll continue. Looking forward to it. But also, if you are new to our district or new to West Oak, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to meet your child, and I can't wait for them to get to know West Oak, because it's a special place, and I can't wait for you guys to be part of that special place. So besides that, that is all I have here, Mr. Freiberger. Do you have anything else?
I just would echo the same thing. I haven't been at any place like District 76 or West Oak. It's really great. I'm really excited to meet your students, and I know all of our teachers at our school are teaching middle school for a reason. They love working with students and being there to support beyond just academics. So really excited to get to know you all, and thanks for being here.
All right. Take care, everybody, and have a good night.
Take care. Hey, I'm gonna go